YouTube, Dark Richician of Team Sorcerers here. So, remember when I was showcasing my different types of decks, like in a similar way to how Wyvern Watch was showing his attribute decks? Well, I thought I'd do the same with the other kinds of decks I have. Character decks and my past format decks. Maybe I'll do it for speed duels, but I'm not sure. But in any case, here's all my character decks: Yugi, Jaden and Yusei, Yuma, Joey, and Zane Cyber Dragon. Yeah, character decks are really fun to play, as long as I'm not facing real decks with them. Now, for those who don't know, I of course do have a rule for character decks, which is that I run, well, I haven't seen the manga, but I only use cards that the character used in the anime, and I only use the same amount of monsters that said character played, but I play any number of copies of the spells and traps. Yeah, unless of course it's a really unique, specific one, a specific one-off that they play. Now, there have been cases where the rules have been bent just a little bit, just to make it more playable, but for the most part, that's basically how I run them. So here's Dark Magician, which has had a little change since before that Gauntlet challenge. Obviously can't run a Yugi deck without Dark Magician. Yeah, obviously I don't play all the monsters he runs, because I don't want it to be too bricky. Ooh, that's in the wrong place. And you might... Oh, wait, I see what's happened here. Yeah, that was the second poly that was switched out for something. So anyway, yeah, I don't play all of Yugi's monsters, of course, because I don't want this to be an absolute brick. It still can, but I feel like this is the least bricky version of it. Even got my original Blackluster Soldier Envoy of the Beginning in here. Birthday present from my dear friend Brendan. Yeah, Dark Hole was the latest edition. I put it in mainly for the Gauntlet challenge, really, because I felt like I needed it, but didn't always show up when I needed it though. And yeah, Yugi does play this. He used it the first time they went into the virtual world to basically rescue Kyra, and that was near the end of Season 1, so I thought it would help. Here's Coffer, for deck thinning purposes. Oh yeah, I must also point out that all of these, well, the character decks I play are under traditional format. Yeah, Graceful Charity, Positive Greed. I mean, there are some powerful spells in the Yugi deck, but in that Gauntlet challenge, it just wasn't enough to help me win the whole thing. Well, there's an original print of Prem. Yeah, this is an OCG version of Mirror Force, but I think it's okay, because it's a character deck. Like, nobody's gonna care. Now, I do have all of the fusions that Yugi runs as well. I can't summon all of them, of course. There's only 4 I can summon. The rest are just for show, like Timaeus, the Knight of Destiny, and Zombie Warrior Goddess Bow. Chimera I can summon. Oh, Dark Flare Knight I technically can summon, but I've not had any reason to do it. Dark Magician got the Dragon Knight I can summon, same with Dark Paladin and Amulet Dragon, and that's pretty much it. Okay, I guess this is a way of kind of rule bending, because Yugi does use Meteor Black Dragon in that movie that only came out in Japan but not over here. It was where he dueled against Kaiba and fused Red Eyes Black Dragon with Summoned Skull to make this guy, and it's plausible he would have had this, and it's also plausible he would have had Arcana Knight Joker, considering he plays Jack's Knight, Queen's Knight and King's Knight. Although I think this was played in the manga though, and there's Dragon Master Knight as well. So yeah, that's Yugi's deck, and I was playing 2 copies of Polymerization for a while before adding Dark Hole. I thought it was a decent switch, because, well, there was nothing else I wanted to drop for Dark Hole, to be honest. Yeah, I thought it would make it less bricky. Now for Jaden's deck. Here's Neos, his ace monster, and the elemental heroes. Yeah, lots of OCG versions, compliments of Margin Sage of Darkness. And yeah, again, I don't play all the monsters Jaden runs, because again, I don't want it to be an absolute brick. That being said, I am running the Neospatians, because they're like also signature monsters that he runs. Yeah, ultimate rares of these guys. Shame about the crease, but oh well. Now, there have been some annoying times where I've drawn the Neospatians when I need literally anything else, but I still think it's kind of a necessity, because I can get out the fusions easily with Miracle Contact, so it's fine. Necrogorgon is one of his best main deck monsters. Wing Karibo, nice to have. 3 equals. Yeah, he is shown to be playing 1, but I'm playing 3 to make it more consistent. Oversoul's there, as is Righteous Justice. Haven't got Heated Heart though, or Hero Flash. And there's 2 Miracle Contacts. Maybe I could play a 3rd, but I'm just not sure. And Miracle Fusion, of course, and the 2 Polys. And the 2 field spells, Neospace and Skyscraper. I think I did think about running Fusion Gate, but just wasn't too sure. I was worried it would be a bit restrictive of fusions I could bring out later on. And yeah, he's got 3 of the best spells ever in here as well. Graceful Charity, Pot of Greed and Monster Reborn, but ultimately it just wasn't enough to win that GX Gauntlet Challenge. And there's a low trap lineup as well, but it's still a decent lineup. Hero Signal, Draining Shield, Mirror Force and Negate Attack. Solemn Judgment was in the deck for the Gauntlet Challenge, because Jaden actually does use it, but it was only in there just for the challenge, in order to try and help me out, and it did help me out, but again couldn't quite claim victory. And here's all the fusions. There's 29 here. Now obviously, I know the extra deck limit is 15, whereas in my format, Richician format, it's 20. But again, I had to bend the rules here, because it's pretty much a past master rule deck as well, rather than past format, because I've got Neos Knight in here, which wasn't released until the 5Ds era. So, yeah, I had to. Yeah, I couldn't just not run all the fusions he plays. That being said, I can't summon all of them, like these guys, Marine Dolphin and Twinkle Moss. Shame this idea never continued, having fusion forms of the Neospatians, but you never know, could happen in the future. And here's all the elemental hero fusions that you summon through Poly and Miracle Fusion or what have you. Original print of Wild Wingman, original print of Dark Bright, Flame Wingman, one of my favourites. There's Neos Knight, Shining Flare Wingman, my personal favourite hero, as you guys know. Divine Neos, original print there, I had that for ages. Original print of Tempest, which is worth loads for some reason. I mean, the condition of this one's not great, but at least it's playable. And now for the Neospatian fusions. Yeah, that Flare Neos has seen better days. Air Neos. Will it ever be reprinted somehow? There are Marine Neos I can't actually summon either, but there we are. And all the triple contact fusions, plus Rainbow Neos, which I also can't summon, but that's okay. And now for Yusei's deck. Starting with his Synchron tuners. There's Junk Synchron, his favourite. Synchron Explorer, not a tuner, but helps bring any of these guys back. And his other tuners that he runs, or at least some of them. There's probably some others he has, but mono Synchron, for instance. But obviously I couldn't fit them all in. And here's all the non-tuners. Justice Bringer, such a great underrated card. Speed Warrior, so awesome. Classic. And Shield Wing. There's only 2 copies of Tuning though. I would have put a third one in, but I don't have one. Plus I'd want it to be ultra rare. Problem is, Star Strike Blast cards are quite expensive and hard to get, so can I really be bothered? Okay, here's where the first case where I'm bending the rules a little bit. Yusei doesn't have this card, but here's the thing, it's a placeholder for Speed Fusion, and that card doesn't exist as a real card. I mean, it's on Edo Pro, but it's not a physical card. So I went with something similar, which I think is acceptable. I could have played Polymerization instead, but the problem with doing that is it can be a brick. Plus I don't know how often I'll have a Dragon Synchro on the field, plus a Warrior on the field or in hand. At least with Miracle Synchro Fusion, it's a good top deck, and it has a secondary purpose of letting me draw a card if it's destroyed by an opponent's card effect. So yeah, that's the only exception. Card rotator here. Double Cyclone, the only form of back row removal that he runs. And here's all the traps. I do love Defense Draw. Now, almost 11 years ago, there was someone who I used to know who I played this deck against in a character game, and he called me a staller. It was an unrecorded game on Dueling Network, and it was because I was sitting behind Scrubbed Raid and Scrap Iron Scarecrow while running out of cards in the deck. Now, I didn't appreciate that. It's not a stall deck, it's just simply a character deck. I think the only stall cards I have are Shield Wing, Scrubbed Raid, 2 Scrap Iron Scarecrows. I mean, that's literally it. I mean, 4 cards does not make this a stall deck. I mean, besides, if I was holding them off with these cards, I was doing it for a perfectly valid reason, because I had this big plan to, which would win me the game, and it involved Dragon Knight Draco Equist and Armory Arm, but there was a component that I needed to bring back with Debris Dragon, which was the last card left in the deck. It's also funny how that person called me a staller, yet there was a game from before where he was stalling me out with Swords of Burning Light when he was playing a Yuma deck. And I was trying to hurry the match along because I needed to leave quite shortly to go and have dinner. And I even said beforehand, okay, we need to hurry this up because I have to go get dinner. And then he goes and plays a stall card. Hypocrite. But anyway, here's the extra deck from my Yusei deck. Besides shooting Quasar Dragon, I have every single extra deck monster he played in this deck. We're not counting the other Signer Dragons because they don't belong to him. Plus, I'm not running Quasar anyway because I hate shooting Quasar Dragon, because that card's my one of my top 5 most hated synchros in the game, because it's an OTK card and a monster that negates everything that attacks twice. And in Synchrons it's just too easy to summon. But yeah, I'm not going to expand on that tangent. So here's Dragon Knight Draco Equist, which can be summoned, even though it does require me to banish a Dragon Synchro, which isn't great, especially since I've only got 3 in here. There we go, we've got Formula Synchron, original print of Armory Arm, Junk Warrior, one of my favourites, Junk Gardener, Drill Warrior, Turbo Warrior, Junk Archer, Junk Berserker, original print, and Junk Berserker I actually pulled from a pack, which I opened on my birthday in 2011. I had quite a few Extreme Victory packs, and I pulled 2. This is one of them. The other one's in my Yusei deck collection. That was awesome. Junk Destroyer, Road Warrior, Stardust Dragon, of course, his ace monster and my favourite synchro monster. And there's Shooting Star Dragon and an original print of Majestic Star Dragon. Okay, the names are actually a bit off-centre, but yeah, cool stuff. And now for my Yuma character deck, and the funny thing about my Yuma deck is that it's the only character deck here that doesn't run any banned cards. I mean, when Monster Reborn was banned, it was running a banned card, but there's actually no banned cards in here, unlike the others. So here's all these Gagagars. Well, most of them anyway. Yeah, he does play 2 Gagagar Magicians, apparently. Here's the Gogagos, the Dododos that I use, the Zexal weapons that I use. Got V Salamander here, Kage to Kage, and just other monsters, just to help out and make it less bricky. Now Gentlemander and Crane are actually new additions to the deck, because for a while I was playing 3 copies of Onomatopoeia, which broke my rules because Yuma never played it. While it does help thin the deck, at the same time it kind of feels like it's got too much of an advantage by doing that. So hopefully with this switch it won't make it too inconsistent. Still, on the plus side, at least these can go into my Utopia deck. But yeah, Gentlemander's a pretty cool hand trap. Kind of like a battle fader, but not as strong. Crane just brings back a level 3. So yeah, that's an instant rank 3 right there. And now for his spells, got 3 Gagaga bolts, because of the multiple Gagagas I run. I think it helps. All the rank up spells that he uses, Astral Force. Look at that, this is one of the most beautiful ultimate rares ever. Limited Barion's Force and Numeron Force, my favourite rank up spell and one of my top 10 favourite spells of all time. Shame Limited Barion's Force is kind of left out of the ultimate rare slot there. Full Force Strike, pretty good, and there's Monster Reborn. And here's the traps. Xyz Reborn, original print there. Half Unbreak. Here's another change that I made. I'm now running 3 copies of Impenetrable Attack. I was playing 2 before, but now bumped it up to 3, which should help make up for losing Onomatopoeia. And here's the Xyzes. Obviously he's got a lot of Xyz monsters, more than 15, and there's no way to run them all, so I just ran with what I thought would be the most helpful, including Miseryvum, Cowboy, Excalibur, Gauntlet Launcher. Yeah, quite a few ultis in this deck actually. Leo Arms being another. Utopia Beyond, there it is. Ultimate Rare, Utopia Ray Victory, Ray V, Ultimate Rare, Original Utopia Ray, there's Volcasaurus, Gimmick Puppet of Strings. Funny how this is limited on the normal ban list now, whereas it's just banned in my format, because, yeah, the support Gimmick Puppet's got in Infinite Forbidden just made the deck just so toxic. So I had to ban the whole archetype because it was OTKing and FTKing too much, and nobody likes those. There's Utopia, the Ace Monster, Leviathan Dragon, Dark Magic Couple's favourite number monster. I think it's his favourite Xyz as well, and here's my favourite number. Big Eye as well, and Chronomaly Atlantis. So that's all the protagonists, and now for Joey Wheeler. It's been a while since I've had a look at the Joey deck. This good old Red Eyes Black Dragon, Guildford Jinzo, the main deck boss monsters, pretty much. I mean, it's not a bad deck for what it is. Well, I say that, and there's Cyberjar, an OP banned card. Oh, here's Time Wizard, the original print, which was in my Edison Spellcaster deck, but I switched it out and put it in here. I think I just needed some more useful cards in that deck. Copycat as well. All the spells. Yeah, again, another bending of the rules, because yeah, this card has been out for only a couple of years, and I'm only using this to bring out Flame Swordsman. that's all it's in here for, because obviously the real card is a fusion monster, whereas in the anime it's a level 5 normal vanilla monster. I couldn't not run Joey's favourite card, so it just had to come in. Shame the summoned monster can't attack, but it is what it is. Speaking of fusions, 2 polys, and it's quite funny how I've got the poly that was in the Joey structure deck, whereas this is a Jaden Pack 1 version. The Claw of Hermos. Giant Druid, Monster Reborn, Pot of Greed, some powerful spells there. Shield and Sword, one of his signature ones. The Warrior Returning Alive. Interesting how he's got this but not Rota. Marauding Captain's there for some reason. Talking of Warriors. That's a card he played one time, which was against Valen. Where was I? Prem, Graceful Dice, original print, which I got off Gamer Central actually. Scapegoat, another of his signature spells. Dangerous Machine Type 6. That's a cool card. And we're really showing some vintage stuff here. We've got Drop Off, original print from Legacy of Darkness. Grave Robber, first ed from Pharaoh's Servant, that's cool. I think that's where the flex ends. Kunai with Chains, Skull Dice, 2 of his signature traps. Metal Morph and Fairy Box. Not the original print from Labyrinth of Nightmare, but the first reprint of it from Dark Beginnings 1. And now for all the fusions that he plays. I think some of these can't be summoned, but for the most part they can be, like Time Magic Hammer, Rocket Hermos Cannon, Alligator Sword, Guiltier the D-Knight. There's no way to summon Guiltier actually, it's just there for show, but this is the oldest card in the deck actually. Look at that, common from Metal Raiders. And there's Flame Swordsman itself, the Speed Duel one though, not the original print, but I have got a common one from the starter deck somewhere, not sure where it is though. Dark Flare Knight, which I need so I can bring it out with Fusion Armament. Veils and Dragon. Then I realised Black Dragon Sword, and Black Skull Dragon can't be summoned, of course. Unless, of course, I use Monster Reborn on a summoned skull. And finally, Zane's deck. Zane's Cyber Dragon. This one's different from the others, because this one is half character deck, half September 2007 deck. I don't think I've even got this in order, actually. One sec. Right, sorted. So for the most part there's cards that Zane actually did play. But otherwise it's just some generic cards from September 2007. Cyber Dragon, my original 3 copies. I love that I've had these. That I've got these rather. I've had these since basically 2006 onwards. 3 protos. I know Zane only had 1, but for the sake of it being a September 07 deck, I wanted to up it. Playing 2 each of the Cyber Darks, even though he only owns 1 each. But I thought 2 of each would help it a bit. And the other Cyber cards, Double Phoenix, although I'm pretty sure he only plays 1. Kirin, which goes with Power Bond, really. And a bunch of dragons that equip onto the Cyber Darks. 2 Hunters, 2 Masked, and Exploder Dragon. These he doesn't play. Exploder he does play, of course. I wish I had a third masked dragon in here, but I just didn't have room. But hasn't really. Well, sometimes it's been an issue, but for the most part, not really. Cyberdark Impact. He's got Overload Fusion. There are 2 Power Bonds, 2 Polys, and Pre-Errata Future Fusion. Limiter Removal. Giant Trunade he doesn't play, but there we go. Heavy Storm. Yeah, Mass Bacra Removal from back then. Megamorph he does play. Prem he doesn't, but it helps. MST he actually does play, apparently, or at least it was in the Zane pack. But oh no, wait, he actually did play it in the anime. It was in his first on-screen duel. He used it on one of Jaden's cards, and all the traps he plays. Fusion Guard was something that was added somewhat recently. Thought it might help, and it's actually here as a way to specifically counter Marshmallow and Magic Cylinder, which keeps popping up all the damn time in the games I've had with Dark Magic Couple. So I thought I'd at least put this in to just nullify the burn damage. And ideally I'd want to send 5-headed dragon off this, which I'm pretty sure he does play. Zane does play anyway, so that way I can have a big monster to equip to Cyberdark Dragon, but I haven't been able to pull that off yet. And generic traps from back then. The standard lineup for September 07 decks anyway. Yeah, he doesn't have these ones, but he does have Call of the Haunted, of course. And finally the fusions. Just 2 Cyberdark Dragons, 3 Chimera Techs, because it's easy to bring out. And there's his signature fusions, 3 Twins, 3 Cyber Ends. Of course, there's 2 5-headed dragons, of course. Now, 5-headed dragon can actually be summoned, but only through future fusion. Although if I draw any of the main deck dragons, then there's no way to get this out. Hey. So there we have it, guys. That's all of my character decks. Eventually I'll do this kind of video with my past format decks, but I'm not going to do them all in one video, otherwise it would take too long, so I'll just go with certain formats, like one with Goat, for instance, one with September 07, another with Edison. You get the idea. And yeah, thanks for watching.